In this video, I'll show you my unique way to draw lifelike fur from start to finish. I'll guide you through each step and provide all the necessary details for you to follow along. Before we begin drawing, let's check if we have all the materials we need. Here's a quick list of the materials. Before we get started with colored pencils, sketch out the animal you'll be drawing. I chose to draw this cute cat named Cash. I used a 2H graphite pencil to lightly sketch out the outline. Now let's jump into using colored pencils. I'll begin with the eyes. Use a blend of dark brown and cool gray shades to fill in the eyes. Use white or light gray to add highlights to the eyes. You can layer this over your previous colored pencil work. For a brighter highlight, leave those areas empty until you're ready to add them. Now let's focus on the fur. Begin with a base layer of light brown, such as light umber. Outline the fur areas, noting the direction that the fur grows. Try out various brown shades to create depth in the fur color. Here I'm using burnt ochre to introduce more reddish tones. Now that we've outlined the base layer, begin adding a lighter color to make the fur pop. Here I'm using beige, which has yellow undertones, but I also switch between a few other light gray shades. You can use the original light brown to blend the brighter tones into the base layer. I also find that using a medium gray tone, like French Gray 50%, helps introduce gray tones and blend the fur. Keep layering your pencils over each other, and remember to keep them sharpened for detailed fur. Moving on to the nose, the colors for the nose may vary depending on the animal you're drawing. For a pink cat nose, I'm using a blend of reddish browns and pinks. For the ears, I'm filling them in with several layers before adding the hair wisps. I'm using burnt ochre, nectar, and beige tones. It's actually similar to how I draw human skin. At this point, I noticed a mistake with the eyes. The right eye was meant to be a bit lower than I initially drew it. Luckily, with colored pencils, you can easily fix minor mistakes like this. I simply added some darker browns and blacks to adjust the eye's position slightly lower. Before moving on with the rest of the drawing, I'm going to use washi tape to safeguard the edges of my drawing and achieve those neat, straight edges. This step isn't essential, so don't stress if you don't have washi tape. Washi tape is great because it's gentle on the paper and won't tear it like regular tape will. Keep filling in the animal's face. I'm adding chocolate and bronze to create depth and shadows. I particularly like using putty beige for neutral fur tones. It's neither too warm nor too cool toned, just a nice neutral light color. To draw the whiskers, I discovered that the best way to make them noticeable is to draw them before coloring the rest of the fur. I prefer using white to make them really stand out. Later on, I attempted to use a white gel pen, but unfortunately my pen wasn't working properly and didn't want to draw over the colored pencil layers. So I really recommend using white first before drawing the fur. Moving on to the rest of the body, the neck and chest area are a bit darker, so I'm using darker browns and reddish tones. Remember to draw the lighter parts of the fur first. It would be very difficult, if not impossible, to draw the light fur after the dark fur. Here's the part I mentioned earlier where I tried to use my white gel pen for the whiskers, but it wasn't working very well. Normally, I use a white gel pen for smaller highlights, like dots here and there. So instead, I just used my white pencil to brighten up the whiskers. And that's it! Cash the Cat is all finished. I hope you've also created an adorable animal. Comment below and let me know which cute animal you drew. I hope this tutorial gave you some useful tips on drawing realistic fur and animals. Thanks for watching!